Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Fong. Today I will be presenting my initial research proposal that highlight the key overview of the research problem and how I'm going to conduct the research and data analysis with the logic behind of the theory applications and industry significance. So first let us start with the research titles and topic overview. My research title are the impact of ESG initiative on brand loyalty and financial performance among millennials and Gen Z consumers in UK retail banking. So this study focuses on the few standpoints in how banks ESG, which are the environment, socials, and governance initiative influence the loyalty of younger consumers and how this loyalty in turn affect the financial outcome. Given the increasing importance of the sustainability, social responsibility, and ethical governance, so understanding this pathway is critical for banks to align their profitability with stakeholder expectations, especially for millennials and Gen Z who are rapidly reshaping the market demands. So next we'll be moving forward to the research problem. The research problem stems from a gap in evidence-based understanding of whether ESG initiatives can truly generate financial benefit in UK retail banking. So while banks are investing in ESG practices, it still remains unclear on which ESG initiatives are most valued by younger consumers and how ESG initiatives influence brand loyalty, and also where the brand loyalty actually mediates the effect of ESG initiative of financial performance. And so why in the study I focus on the UK but not the other country? Because UK has a strong regulatory framework for ESG, including the FCA sustainability disclosure requirements, and also a highly competitive retail banking sector with a major institutions like HSBC, NatWest, which hold global significance. Additionally, the millennials and Gen Z consumer in the UK are actively shaping the market expectations around ethicals and also sustainable banking, so making the research context highly relevant. So moving forward to the next slide, which is the research objective. Our main objective focuses on four main key points, which are ESG parity, loyalty links, mediation effects, and generational differences to test if the brand loyalty can truly mediate the relationship between ESG initiative and financial performance. Additionally, we also want to assess how demographics and the behavioral differences between millennials and Gen Z may influence this relationship, providing banks with a more targeted insight for strategy and customer engagement. So next, moving to the theoretical frameworks and literature foundations. So this study is grounded in two main theories, which are stakeholder theory, highlight that the fund should create value not only for shareholders but also for customers, communities, and societies. So this implies in the banking sector, which meeting ESG expectations can enhance customer loyalty and achieve long-term profit. So another theory is the theory of planned behavior, which states that the customer attitudes, social pressures, and persist control influence their loyalty behavior. So when this put into the banking context, a positive perception of ESG practice may encourage long-term loyalties and recommendations behavior. So this study also draws on the concept of brand loyalties, where we differentiating between emotional loyalty, that customer feeling of attached and trust, and also behavioral loyalty, which reflects the repeat engagements and recommendation behavior. Besides that, the previous research often showed a positive but also a complex relationship between ESG initiative and financial performance, with limited quantitative evidence that exploring the mediating role of brand loyalty, particularly in UK retail banking. So this study aims to fill this research gap. Next, we will be moving to the research methodology. The research will use a quantitative and causal design, and the data will be collected through online survey with a 7-point listed scale with targeting millennials and Gen Z across the UK to measure the perceptions on ESG initiative and brand loyalty. And also a secondary financial data, especially focused on the return on asset, the ROE, to get from the company annual reports or official's website to evaluate the financial performance as a supporting. So before the main survey, A pilotathon with 20 participants from Millennials and Gen Z will be conducted to ensure the clarity, reliability, and validity of the questionnaire. So any feedback from these pilotathons will be used to refine the survey question before full data collections. So when it comes to the main data collections, we will then proceed through online survey targeting 400 participants selected through stratified random sampling to ensure proportional representation of both generations. So next, let us move to the data analysis. So when after collecting the data, the analysis will begin with descriptive statistics such as calculating the mean, standard deviations, and also percentage. So this step will help to summarize the respondent profile and identify the overall trend in the data. And next, I will also conduct a confirmatory factor analysis, which also named as CFA, to verify whether the survey questions actually accurately measure the intended concept of ESG perceptions and brand loyalty. So this will ensure that the measurements model is both reliable and valid. After confirming the structure, I will also use the multiple regressions analysis to test the direct effect in the model, especially how ESG perceptions influence brand loyalty and how these variables affect financial performance. So this analysis will address the hypothesis of hypothesis 1 and 2. So following this, I will apply a structural equation models to test the overall conceptual framework. In this step, it will help to identify both direct and indirect relationship between ESG initiative, brand loyalty, and financial performance. This will include testing the mediating role of brand loyalty for hypothesis 3. Then, in order for me to address hypothesis 4, I will use a multi-group analysis to examine whether millennials and Gen Z respond differently to ESG initiative. So throughout the analysis, a p-value below 0.05 will be used to determine the statistical significance. All analysis will be conducted using SPSS and Atmos software, which is a very robust tool for testing complex relationships and the mediation effect. Finally, the result will be used to develop practical recommendations for banks, particularly on how ESG initiatives can strengthen customer loyalty and improve financial performance. So last is the expected contributions and significance. The study offers both academics and also practical contributions. So in academic wise, it provides original quantitative evidence on the pathway linking ESG, brand loyalty, and financial performance, and also positioning the brand's loyalty as the mediating variable in the UK retail banking. It also applies the stakeholder theories and also the theory of planned behavior in a modern ESG context to offer a new insight perspective in existing research. In practically, it will help banks to identify ESG initiatives that most effectively drive loyalty and financial outcome. It also optimizes resource allocations, strengthens stakeholder trust, and also mitigate the greenwashing risk. For policy relevance, it supports the regulatory framework like the FCA sustainability disclosures requirement by showing which ESG practices are valued by the younger consumer and how they impact the financial result. In summary, this research linked the gap between ESG adoptions, consumer behavior, and measurable financial performance to provide an actionable insight for banks, policymakers, and also researchers alike for future research framework developments, and also provide socially responsible business practice, and the policymaker will gain the benefit in this research to refine of existing ESG regulations. So that will be all for my presentations. Thank you so much.